from the bank that tried to collect on credit card accounts that had already been paid off.
Hello?
Hey babe, how's it going?
Who is this?
It's the second largest bank of America. B.of.A.
I paid that card off like a year ago.
It's our anniversary. Our anniversary. You gotta party like it's anniversary.
What is it you want from me?
I gotta get that payment.
Now Bank of America wants you to die before they modify.
D here, and here's your recap. Last time we learned that my home's value, like millions of other Americans, was underwater. And in order to balance my family's budget, I tried to refinance at the new lower rates. But at the time, Bank of America said, a loan modification is your only option. So they asked me to submit an application, bank statements, tax returns, and a bunch of other documents. And then a month later, they asked me to submit it all again, and then again. And then finally, they just said, why don't you just give us your own death certificate and we'll process your loan modification. I'm serious. Dead serious. So I started to question, just how did a loan modification with Bank of America become so creepy? It felt like I had been thrust into a horror film called
Bank of America wants you to die before they modify. So,
what would you do?
Can I help you?
Yes. I'm here to acquire a death certificate.
Whom is the death certificate for?
It's me. Put it for myself, if you would.
Yourself?
Yes. It's for me.
Really? Oh.
Put it for me. And mark it for today, if you would. And I'll keep this freaky foot thing you're doing to myself. We should find out whose foot that is. It's gonna happen eventually. Can we just post-date it?
Well, the good news is I got another letter from Bank of America, and just maybe it's my loan modification. Nope, just a letter switching my loan officer to someone unfamiliar with the case who could ask me for the same documents again with a straight face, which she did. What should have been a short journey had somehow gone horribly off course. I just wanted to restructure my loan, but Bank of America had somehow turned it into an elaborate survival game. And a death certificate? How could the second largest bank in America be this inept? Even if the first request was a clerical error, they requested it again, a month later, with even more disturbing documents. It seemed as if their loan modification program was make-believe, and they were really purposely stalling by asking for the same documents over and over. Was this all a part of an intricate and diabolical business model that had been used to waste valuable time? Because it's obvious this type of behavior could cause a homeowner who's under financial pressure to default on their home loan. But had I just discovered the very tactic that already forced millions of homeowners into foreclosure? It seemed as if the bank was pretending to help, but actually launching a passive-aggressive scheme filled with purposeful delays that allowed them to systematically seize their own customers' property. It was like a legal theft done through the foreclosure process. I had already contacted my state's attorney general, but I needed some answers now. So I found a great homeowners advocate online. His name was Steve, and he had already helped thousands of homeowners with their loans and fight for their homes. Steve was also a longtime realtor, and he knew a great deal about the loan process, and I hoped he could answer some of my other questions.
You're all the sons.
Thank you, honey.
Action!
Hey, Dee, I hope I can help. What's going on?
Too cute, Steve. Hey, I just wanted to ask, from what you've observed, what is the deal with big banks on these loan modifications?
Well, the deal is first of all, they're requesting the same documentation over and over again as they did in your case and trying to run out the clock on the modification process so they can deny the modification based on the fact that you didn't get the information to them soon enough. The second thing we're seeing is they're losing paperwork. I had a client that we sent the paperwork in, certified mail signature receipt, and a few days later, Bank of America called and said, we didn't receive any of that paperwork. So I asked them, I said, That's all my clients' private and personal information, their social security numbers, their birth date, their asset information. Where is my client's information? You signed for it, and then what happened? How did it disappear, and where did it disappear to? The third and most common one that I'm coming across is that they'll send the customer to a line that has a voicemail on it where they never get a call back, or the line's a dead line. So the customer just sits in limbo until the sheriff shows up at the door with the sheriff sales certificate, and then lets them know that the sheriff sale's happening and that the foreclosure process is well on their way, when the customer all along thought that they were working and negotiating with the bank to prevent that from happening altogether.
Do you know how banks might benefit from delaying a loan modification?
There's several reasons. We're just going to start with the top 3 or 4 reasons. And the first reason is they were getting paid incentive monies to process a modification application. And at one point, they made $24 million in the month of June for just processing applications. Now, why would they want to complete the modification if they can get paid to process another application for the same homeowner time and time and time again? The second thing was, if it was a government-insured loan, then they could sell the home for half price and then just bill back the federal government. And I'm going to send you all those reports, from the Los Angeles Times, Huffington Post, all the different studies that were done, the federal audits and everything. I'll send all that information over to you for your review, and you can, make the decision for yourself.
That is just great research, Steve. So why did Bank of America ask me for a death certificate in order to process a loan modification?
Oh, that's not questions for my daddy.
Steve? Steve?